Hi, coming to you live from Cedar Creek, which is northwest of Brisbane. Just a beautiful, beautiful, divine little spot that's only like half an hour's drive from the city, and look at what you get. Just glorious, glorious freshwater divinity. Yeah. So, thoughts for the day. I have thoughts, and I've been thinking and thinking. So I've been thinking about what I perceive, just something I'm learning about right now, and pondering upon. You can ponder upon a pond. Enough of this. Yeah, I've been thinking about the illusion of perfectionism. I think if there's no greater indoctrination, subtle mind implant from, the big worldly earthly powers, is that seed that's been sown into so many of us about that we have to be perfect, and that there is some sort of benchmark for what perfectionism is. And as you will well know by now, if you know me, that I'm totally on board trying to debunk the illusion of what Christhood is, because it has been set up as being a benchmark of perfectionism. That in order to be a Christed one, you have to be absolutely perfect, in the way that Jesus was presented in the Gospels and by the people who put together the Bible. But we don't have the whole story of that. He even when he reached his full level of Christhood, he still kept on having to work on illusions. Like, there is no end point in the journey, so therefore how can there be perfectionism? We're always growing, or we're meant to grow, and everything is always growing and changing and becoming more, and that's all the challenge is to become more, is just to go, right, I'm not happy with that particular behavior or thought or self-perception, whatever it might be, and we just need to sort of have a look at it, see it for what it is, let it go. And then when the test comes again, like, just transcend the impulse to go to, the go-to behavior, which, often which is something less. Like when we're young, it's just little things like, teenagers gossiping and everything, and, you sort of get pulled into it because that's what everyone does, is gossip, and and eventually you just sort of hit a point. Well, hopefully, many of us hit a point as we mature through life and into adulthood, and we just go, that's not cool. It's not cool sort of, talking about people behind their backs and in a derogatory way. It's of no benefit to them, and also I don't want people to talk about me like that, so fair's fair. Anyway, that's just one small example of, an illusion that can be transcended, and it's just a very realistic possibility to improve on in one's life. So I'm now just sort of looking at, like Christhood and perfectionism and what the expression of Christhood is. And today it was presented to me by the Ascended Master, a Lady Master, Nada, that when we reach for a highest truth in a particular point within our consciousness, that is an expression of Christhood. So the way I expressed Christhood maybe 20 years ago, it was not necessarily the highest possible expression. When I challenged someone else to a higher truth, called them on their shit, so to speak, or just presented something to somebody, like to help them open up and see a little bit, see what I could see. I was presenting it at the highest possible consciousness that I had at that time. Whereas now, if I presented, you know, the same sort of concept, I would definitely present it sort of with a higher consciousness yet again, a much, much higher one. You know, 20 years, I've moved on so much. So Christhood is like this constantly progressing and evolving progression. There is no static endpoint to it. There's always something, there's always an illusion. If we're here on this earth, there is always something we need to go have a look at and let it go. You know, just really learn from our lessons. Like, not just go hop back on the treadmill and keep making the same mistakes again and again and again. Which, you know, we all know what that's like, and it's just boring, no fun at all. It's much easier to just, not even, you know, initially I guess it's sort of like there is a certain surrender to humility when you just sort of go, yeah, I fucked up. And you've got to sort of own it and move on, and it can be a bit painful, but the more practice you become at this, it's not such a big deal. There might be a little bit of pain, but you always know, yeah, it's all right. Like, you know, this is just one more thing, and there's going to be another thing, and another, and another, and another, and that's what life is about. Like, just don't beat yourself up about it. Like, you know, it's just all one big learning curve. And, you know, just like when you create the wonderful Bezier curve, you know, like you move step by step and it creates this beautiful upward curve as you're constructing one. And I'm not going to describe it right now, but, you know, look it up if you want to. As you're constructing that Bezier curve and it just moves upwards, then so too it's the same thing. Like, it's just, you know, one step at a time, moving upwards. So Christhood is literally, it's not about becoming, you know, this incredible illusion of what we perceive Jesus as, or the Buddha of having achieved, of perfection, of earthly perfection. It's just in this moment, right here, right now, taking that step up. That's all it is. And that's such a realistic thing for anybody to achieve. I mean, you can do it right now, so can I. Done. Boom. It's that easy. So, henceforth ends my thought for the day. I hope you have enjoyed the ponderance of perfection upon this pond. Okie dokies. Bye-bye.